Now, it's time for adults and teens, okay? So if you are an adult or a teen following along for piano, we're gonna be practicing in our book today, our week 7 songs, which I assigned last Saturday, okay? All right, so let's open our books. I think I remember the page, let's see. Okay, so we had, oh yes, I remember. So we were working on Marianne, okay, and that was on page 37. And then we were also working on, I think it was Rockets, wasn't it? Yes, Rockets on page 40, okay. So let's start with Marianne on page 37. So Marianne is a great song because it's basically introducing us to B, or the G7 chord in our right hand, right? If you recall from week 6 songs, we had already learned B for the left hand and our G7 chord for the left hand. But now we have to be able to play it on the other hand too, not just one hand, okay? So with Marianne, we noticed that we had the melody in the left hand this time. That allowed for our right hand to be able to play those chords, the C major chord and the G7 chord, okay? So as we're playing through Marianne for our practice run, make note of that, okay? There are some interval changes. We have thirds, we have seconds, and we also have the harmonic chords in the right, okay? So I'm going to get in my C position, okay? Let's go ahead and get you in your C position. All right, everybody there? Great. Okay, let us begin. I am going to count off. Ready? 1, 2, ready, play. Great job, yeah. Okay, so probably some of those intervals in the melody for the left hand were tricky for you, but that's okay, right? If you need to, you can isolate a specific line or section of the song that was giving you trouble, and you can drill that section until you feel comfortable playing through it, okay? All right, now notice at the end of each line, the melody in the left hand has a tied note. Did you notice that? Yeah, it's like the last note of the melody is tied through the last measure of each line. And that is when the chord in the right hand comes in, right? And depending on where we are in the song, it would be either a G7 chord or a C major chord, right? Okay, so I'm thinking as far as our tricky spot, you know, I think I really probably line 2, because that's the first time that we're introduced to that stretching finger 5 to reach that low B, right? So I'm thinking I'm gonna play through line 2 like 4 times, okay? I'm gonna kick the tempo up a little bit. Yeah, so it's not quite as slow, okay? If you wanna keep it nice and slow, you absolutely can. But I'm just gonna kick it up a little bit, okay? I'm gonna find my C position. Okay, I have my left hand thumb on G and I have my right hand thumb on C. All right, I'm beginning with the left hand finger 4 on my D. Okay, this is the beginning of line 2 of Mary Ann on page 37. Okay, I'm going to count off. 1, 2, ready, play. 2 up to F, F stretch to B, hold, D, hold, D, C, E, tied. Yeah, you know why I picked that line now, huh? It really is tricky. All right, so that's our first time through. Let's play it 3 more times through, okay? If you find that you need to play it 5 more times through, you totally can. I'm just going to do it 3 more times because I think I can get to my goal of getting it, upping my confidence on it in 3 more tries. Okay, so let's see if we can do that. All right, this will be time number 2, starting on the second line. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, up to F, F stretch to B, hold and D, hold, D, C, E, hold. Cool. Okay, so that was time number 2. Let's do a third time, okay? So this is starting again, second line of Mary Ann, finger 4 for your left hand, okay? All right, counting off. 1, 2, ready, play. 2 up to D, F stretch to B, hold and D, hold, D, C, E, hold, and a C major chord. Yeah, okay, so that was the third time through. Let's do 1 more time through, okay? You can do this! You're doing so well. I'm proud of you guys. Okay, starting with that finger 4. Are you ready? This is like the cherry on top. All right, 1, 2, ready, play. 2 up to F, F stretch to B, hold, D, hold, D, C, E, tied note, C major, C major, C major. Awesome work. I'm so impressed with y'all. Very good. Okay, so as your confidence is building in your songs, try and bump the tempo up a little bit, right? It gives you a healthy challenge. Don't bump it up too fast, but do it incrementally in little clicks, a little bit faster and faster. That way, you get the satisfaction of being able to get through something so tricky as a song like this at a quicker tempo. It really feels nice when you're able to accomplish that. So great job. Now let's go ahead and flip to page, I think it was 40, right? Yes, page 40. And we were introduced to 2 new concepts, right? We had the new time signature of 3/4 time, right? And then we also had the new note, the dotted half note, right? So let's review. Do you remember what the 3/4 time signature meant? Yeah? So 3/4 time signature is reminding you that the top number is the number of beats that we're going to get per measure. And the bottom number 4 is just a reminder of the type of note that gets the beat. In this case, when you have a time signature with a 4 on the bottom, that's telling you that the quarter note is going to get the beat, right? Yeah, because it's 4 quarters in $1, right? Very good. So there's a reminder of that. Also, our favorite note here, well, mine anyway, is the dotted half note. And if you remember, this one gets 3 beats, okay? Remember, the half note gets 2 beats. But when you add the dot, it makes it 3, okay? All right. Good. Now looking here at rockets on page 40, we notice this is 3/4 time, okay? We are traveling with a melody in both the left hand and the right hand. And our harmonic chords, our G7 and our C major chord, are now in the left hand only, okay? There are no repeats in this song, but if you remember from lesson on Saturday, we had that important challenge section at the bottom, right? It challenges you to play Rockets in 2 different octaves, which is quite fun. So you can get a little creative as you're going through Rockets, okay? Let's play it once so we can get a practice run, okay? All right, so we're in C position. I'm in my spot. Are you in your spot? Fabulous. Okay, so Rockets begins traveling up by thirds from a finger 5 C, left hand. Okay, let's see what it sounds like, okay? I'm going to count off. 1, 2, 3, ready, and play. Rest. Yeah, so as you're traveling up by thirds, you notice that it's sort of emulating a rocket itself, right? Because you're blasting off from the ground, and then you're going all the way up into the stratosphere, right? Very good. So what we will be trying with this challenge that they've given us is you're going to play Rockets 3 times through, okay? And each time you're going to be going up an octave, right? So if this was the second time through, they say play the first line as written, but then the second line you're going to play it up 8 notes or an octave, okay? So then you find your nearest C and you pretend that that's the new middle C for your right hand, okay? Let me show you what it sounds like, okay? So this is going to be the second time through, okay? Listen carefully. 1, 2, 3, ready, and go. Okay, moving up. Left hand. You see what I did there? So what I did was my regular middle C for my right hand thumb. I went ahead and found my next C nearest to me to the right, okay? And I'm going to pretend that that is my new middle C, and that's where my right hand goes. My left hand sort of does the similar thing. It goes up an octave, right, where the right hand used to be, right? So that shift in your hands from regular position up to the next octave is what they're having you do for the first, or the second time through, right? The second time through, not the first time, right? Now, when they're looking at the third time through, what you're going to do is stay where you ended from the second time, and that's going to be your new first line position, okay? So let's pretend this is the third time through, okay? Let's listen carefully. I'm going to count off. 1, 2, 3, ready, and play. Good. Ooh, now we go up an octave, even higher. And by the time you play that last chord way up 2 octaves higher than middle C, we have exited Earth's orbit, right? So you can pretend, you can have a little bit of fun exploring the upper half of the keyboard. Okay, so those are the instructions. If you happen to have a little bit more creative freedom in your piano practice, it's totally fine if you end up moving and shifting your hands in a different order. That's totally cool. I'm good with it because either way, you are exploring that upper half of the piano, right? And as a rocket blasts off from Earth into space, I want you to blast off going to the right side of your piano, okay? Have some fun with it, okay? All right, so that was rockets, everybody, okay? So for a recap, adults and teens, you are working on Mary Ann, okay? That's exploring the G7 chord and B in your right hand. And you are working on the new time signature of 3/4 time, your dotted half note, and treble clef octave exploration in rockets. Okay? Have some fun this week, okay? See if you can practice every day. If you can't practice every day, always try to go for your Encore 4. Okay? Try to get 4 days of practice in before Saturday. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for our Practice With Me session today. I hope these tips were helpful for you. If it's not helpful, let me know. Send me a message, and we will work it out. Try to get you as much help as possible. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you next time, okay? Bye.